second bluegill I caught.
Awesome.
Crazy.
Man, you're catching them quick. You see what?
I saw a catfish right over there.
He sees the catfish.
I see it!
What do you see, Beth?
The one, the big one! It's down there!
Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and I've got my grandson Zayden here, and we're checking out the pond. Last night we were feeding the fish. They swam right up to his toes when we were feeding them. I thought they were going to take a bite off his toes. So I actually said in my last video that I wouldn't be having another pond update until it was done, but I've changed my mind because I've got a plan that I think is really going to improve the overall look of the pond by changing the way I shape the far side. And instead of doing like I did over here with these small rocks, we've got big, like 2,000-3,000 pound, 4-foot long rocks that would make great kind of edge pieces and finish this out. So I decided to go ahead, and it's going to be a process getting them put in place. I'm going to have to use the skid loader to move them, but I think I'll have to use the backhoe on the tractor to dig out a spot to set them in. So before I do that, I'm going to till the pumpkin patch one more time before I take the tiller off, and then we'll start digging out and getting this set up. You ready to help?
Yeah.
5. You can just barely see the bottom now. It's really clearing up. Every time I work on it, it gets a little murky and then it'll clear up again. I've got 8 goldfish and 6 koi in here, plus a dojo loach. And right now I can see 10 of those 15 fish.
And I saw my fish swim.
If he's your fish, you should give him a name. Like Charlie.
No, goldfish.
Goldfish? Okay. All right, little man is 6 years old, did all the driving there. Actually, I drove down it the first time and I ran over the first hill a little bit, but he didn't run over any hills. What do you think about your first time running a tiller? Is it fun? All right, now we gotta go put the backhoe on the tractor and start moving those rocks. So let me see if I can explain to you the difficulty I'm having in finishing the pond. So what I did on the rest of the pond was pile the small to medium-sized rocks up to ground level. Well, in this spot, ground level is significantly higher than on any other side. It's significantly higher than the water. I mean, I'm 2 foot above water level here at least. And I actually, you see this big pipe back here, I want to bury that pipe. So I want to add more dirt back here. So what that means is I'm going to just keep building this up, you know, another 8 to 10 inches. If I do that, I'm going to have my stack of medium-sized rocks is going to be 4 foot tall. No matter how I stack it, that's going to be kind of flimsy and wobbly. What I realized is I've got some rocks over there that are this thick. I can actually dig this down to where the top of those rocks is where ground level is now. And it'll look a lot more natural to have those big rocks setting here, I think, than a series of small rocks. So I'm going to carry one over and try to make a footprint for where it's going to set, and then get the backhoe and start digging. These are the big rocks I'm talking about. Now, the one I'm sitting on is so heavy that my skid loader, which can carry at least 5,000 pounds, could barely get this an inch off the ground and barely drive with it. This one is actually split in half right over here, so I can carry the two pieces and try to put them back together. Then I've got all of these other big rocks, and that one over there is broken too, but I've got 3 huge ones that aren't broken. So I think that's where we're gonna start. Maybe I'll try to get this one right here, right up against the waterfall. I knocked a couple rocks in, but not a big deal. I was able to pull the dirt out behind them. As I was pushing that rock in, it pushed dirt down and shoved those rocks up until they fell. If I dug that dirt out, I should be able to put them back and we should be more solid now. I learned a little bit from doing this one, that the next one, I gotta dig back a little further so I can get it in there flat. I didn't go quite far enough, and once that heavy of a rock is in like this, I don't have any way to dig at it. I don't have a machine that can grab and pull. I could get it out of there with the grapple if I had to, but I think it's gonna work like this. And on the next one, I'm gonna make my flat spot bigger. And having that one angle up towards the waterfall should work, but for the next rock going by the waterfall. So a hidden benefit of this is that no matter where I stop the edge of this, whether I put a concrete sidewalk around it, or loose gravel, or grass right up to the edge, wherever you stop, you have to weed eat. So if I weed eat right at the edge, all that grass is going to go in the pond, which is a bad thing. Having that rock there that's 2.5 feet wide or more keeps grass out of the pond at least a little bit. I've got my dirt built up over here. I've got that set in place. So now I'm going to pack dirt in behind it and we'll move on to the next section. Okay, I wanted the edge of this rock another foot forward. The only way to have done that with the equipment I have, I think, would have been to put straps around it, but I was worried that trying to get the straps out would be as much trouble as anything else. So, I can't just push on this from the back because it'll shove dirt and it'll push this wall. The only thing holding the water back is this little thin layer of dirt and this stack of rocks. This spot right here is a little bit below the water level, so I could flood this hole if I'm not careful. And I don't want to have to rebuild my wall on the other side. So I think I'm going to shovel some of this out by hand, and then I'm going to see if my grapple will get down here and grab this and move it forward. My grapple could not grab it, and what happened is exactly what I didn't want to happen, but I still think this is salvageable.
take them down here?
I don't want you to get all dirty.
The fish come to us.
Yep, the fish are swimming right over here, aren't they?
Hey, I found 4 goldfish.
Awesome.
And I saw one goldfish was this big.
Yep. I gotta go get some more rocks. I gotta get some rocks for right here. If you want to help, buddy, do you want to help?
Yeah.
What we need is a lot of little rocks over here. So if you look around all over the place, there's little rocks this size, like behind the dirt pile over here, like over here, Zayden. Look, I saw a couple over there. The more little rocks you can find, the better, because we can use them all. Like, need one that sits right there. Yeah, those are perfect, bud. Like this one can go right here. And that one can go right here. That probably won't stay there. That doesn't stay there.
Like this one?
Yep, the more rocks the better. If you find them, bring them over. And we'll just put them all right here until we need them. I gotta find a couple more big ones. Now bringing me rocks is a great help. Okay, here you go.
Ah, this one right here is like one.
Yep. I gotta go find a couple big rocks for right here. But we need the little ones and we need the big ones. They are all important. Okay. All right, so my grandson came over and he said, Nimmy said, take me fishing because I'm gonna be leaving soon. I said, okay, go get the poles and stuff. Let me finish what I'm doing. I got in a hurry and I just used that cutting edge on my bucket to cut right through this pipe, which takes the water from the skimmer to the filter. So I'm going to the hardware store tonight and I'm going to be out here in the dark trying to see if I can fix that line. I've got some extra in case I have to cut it back and get some splices or something. I'll just have to look at it. But right now, I'm going to see if we can catch any fish. We've been after Catfish Hunter for a while and he's evading us. And Zayden loves to fish. Did you catch anything yet?
Look at all this moss.
Oh, the moss is back. Every time I think we got rid of the moss, it comes back bigger.
Please don't cast in my line.
First thing he says when I walk down here is, please don't cast across my line. I said, when did I ever do that? Grouch?
I say it!
You see what?
I saw a catfish right over there.
He sees a catfish. Now, problem is I don't have any good catfish bait. Well, I've got me this stink bait putty stuff, but you can't just put it on the hook, it all falls apart. So I put a little bit on there. We'll see what we get. When I caught this fish before, it was with a little bluegill, which he just caught one. I'm gonna switch this to some bluegill bait. Come show him what you got, bud.
Where's bluegill? This is a bluegill.
This is what the pond is full of, about that size. We just got a huge jump right out there. That's where I'm gonna cast first. I may try a fish fillet if this doesn't work.
This is the second bluegill I caught.
Awesome.
That's crazy.
Man, you're catching them quick. Hey, bud, grab him around the back and take the hook out. Hold your line up. Let me show you how to do it with these small fish. It's hard to get your finger in their mouth. Start at the head and slide down and they can't poke you. Okay, then you're gonna slide your hand down him like this. See? Slide your hand down. Now that you got your hand on him, he can't do anything. You gotta grab and twist the hook. I know you know how to do it.
I will.
Is that one bigger or littler than the other?
That's a little.
If it's littler, put it in the bucket.
Let's come back in.
I really want that catfish, so we're gonna take a big chunk of bluegill and see if I can use that as a bait and get him. When I caught him before, I was using a whole bluegill as bait, but it was a lot smaller. We haven't caught a tiny one like that today.
This is a big rod to cast.
All right, it was not a very successful night fishing. Zayden caught 2 bluegills on worms right away. And we could sit here and catch those bluegill all day if we wanted. But we were after the catfish, which is slow and boring. What are your thoughts, Zayden? How are we going to catch this catfish if this didn't work?
I don't know.
What do you think maybe we can catch him with?
Liver!
Liver. Maybe we'll go get some liver next time. It was fun anyway. Did you have fun?
Yeah. Can you hook it? I got it.
Okay.
Carry the
Grab your pole. I'll get this one. I'll see you guys in just a minute and we'll fix that pond pump. Well, after we finished fishing, then I went to Home Depot and I got some couplers for this pipe. And I had a couple of other issues to deal with. So now it's almost midnight, but I don't want to leave that waterfall off any longer than I have to. It's like the split goes back about 4 inches, so I got to cut it back a little more. I don't know what's in this. It looks like metal, but I'm thinking it's just another type of plastic that makes the rings around it. But that's some tough stuff. I should have done this in regular PVC couplers instead of these style. I mean, the others are just better. And the downside to this is those hose clamps aren't rated to be underground or submerged. But it is what it is, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I found the PVC that would fit this, but I couldn't, well, what I think was supposed to fit this. But in the store, I was really having a hard time getting this. It was so tight. It's like if I put glue on that, I'm gonna have a hard time telling if I really got the pipe up in there far enough in each direction with the, especially you're supposed to use the repair couplers that slide up past and then come back. I just wasn't confident I could get that to work. So I'm going to bury these hose clamps, which is bad, but I'm going to take this underwater Gorilla repair tape. It's really good stuff. It like bonds to whatever you put it on. And I'm going to put that across all of these joints. I think that's going to do the job. Because the concern with those hose clamps is that they will rust off. And then this joint will start to leak. So I'm just not going to give it that opportunity. I'm using 2 pieces of this per joint so that it's covering all the way past on both pieces. And I'm going past all the way around. Once this stuff's on there, it is on there. I used it to seal, to splice some of this liner, and this stuff was impressive. Again, I'm not trying to use this to seal a leak or something. I just want to keep the hose clamps dry as they're buried. The hose clamps should already be a watertight seal. So we're about 90% of the way finished with ringing the perimeter of the pond, which is the last step. I mean, there's maybe 3 hours of work left to do on the entire pond. And then I'm going to build there's other things to do. I'm going to build something to house all the electrical. Something that looks kind of like a big birdhouse maybe. I'm not sure exactly what, to keep all that dry and protected. I'm also going to trench electrical right to the spot. So I have conduit buried and everything. And my GFCI ports are right here, and we don't have anything funky going on with the electrical. And then I've got to get grass to grow around it. But honestly, I was intimidated taking this pond on. There's a lot of manual work, a lot of rock moving, and I am thrilled to be where we're at. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.